Alright, so this is just going to be a real brief tutorial on a classroom management program. It's actually called Intel Classroom Management, or ICM for short. So what we're going to do, this is going to be the program that you guys are all going to use to control and monitor all of the student tablets when they're in your classroom. So you just want to open it up, and this is where you'll choose your class. So right now all we have is the evaluation, which they're allowing us to see. But when the students are assigned their tablet, they'll be put into your class. So you'll see your class here, probably with your last name or something. So to get class started and to lock down all their tablets, you just simply click on your class. And this will be what you see, kind of. You'll see a lot more students depending on your class size. They'll all be lined up in here. So starting at the top, you have Manage Class. And so you want to make sure at the end of the day or end of the class or whatever, because some of you have students that switch classes, you always want to click here and you want to click End Class, because if you don't end the class, they're locked in your class still and they won't be able to do basically anything with their tablet. So you need to end class at the end of your class. And then you have Student Register. This is where you see all your kids and whatnot. And Random Select, that's just to call on a random student if you like. You got things like journal, and you could show your menus, send and collect your work, because you could actually push out papers or whatever to the students, and then you can collect it up at the end of the time limit or however you want to do that. And you have a co-browse here, which means it will open up the web browser and it'll show it on all of the students' tablets as well. So you guys can all browse the internet together. You can manage individual computers or tablets. You can communicate specifically with certain students or certain groups within your class. And this is their toolbars. And you can send out tests here, and you can send out lesson plans. You can actually click on this to create and edit your lesson plans, and then you could actually start a lesson plans, which I'm going to assume have time limits and when they're supposed to do things and in what order. You can do it that way. Another cool feature is if you click over here, you can actually, this is all blank because this is the test site, but in these little boxes you'll be able to see what each student is doing at that exact time. It's a live feed of all of the screens of all of your students, so you can see exactly what they're doing. And if you want to, you can even click on a certain, like if you have a seating chart or whatever, you can actually move your students around so that they're in this screen exactly how they're seated in your class, so that you can quickly reference to see who's doing what and where. You can also see what you could send out different audio samples or pull them in. Here is where you can send out specific questions and they can like buzz in to answer, or however you want to do that. This tab here is the website tab. So this is where you will allow sites and or block sites. And to do that, you simply just click this plus symbol here to have sites that are allowed to go. And over here you can click the plus tab to add sites where they're not allowed to go. So let's say you want them to use Bing to do their searches, but you don't want them to use Google, so you go over here and add Google to the denied list and add Bing to the plus list. I don't think you have to add all the sites you want them to use, but if they're not in the restricted site, then obviously they'll be able to get to it. So, or you can just lock down the internet altogether. Here's applications, basically the same thing, what applications they are allowed to use while in class with you, and what applications they're not allowed to use while in class. So like here you could say they're allowed to use the internet with only preferred sites, and over here you can add you'll never let them use Angry Birds or the Play Store or anything like that. So, and here you have a question survey, so you can send out a question and they can answer it, and then you can see how many people get it right and yada yada, see if they're paying attention. This is the printer queue, so you can see who's printing and what printers they're allowed to use and such like that. And this is everybody. It's a list of who's in your class currently. And this you don't need to worry about. It's to monitor and control the CD DVD player, which these don't have, and the USB ports, which they do have. And keyboards, this is I'm not real sure what this is. It looks like this is where you can have spelling and things, target words. Oh, this is so you can search specific words. So if they're sending messages or searching for certain things, you can find inappropriate words and get them in trouble for doing that kind of thing. If they find a way around, if they download a messaging program or something, you can look for certain words. And this is a whiteboard, so this will project your screen onto all their screens, and you can do your presentation like that, and they can all see exactly everything that you're writing at that time. And that's basically a brief overview of this program for now. And soon you guys will all have this before the tablets come out, and I'm sure you'll have more training on it, as will I. And I think it's going to be a very useful program.